going on, everyone? StealthyWolf here. Now, I did a video about a week ago, probably more than a week ago when you're seeing this, about the Saints Row Reboot not being a bad game, but the developers not really understanding the backlash. I made that it's kind of just I just wanted to get the words out. So, gotten some comments and everything. So I am just going to address most of them and sort of kind of redo the video with a bit more clearer kind of thing, and hopefully it's not half an hour long. So first off, the point of that video originally was that when they announced Saints Row Reboot and then released the initial trailer, a lot of people were annoyed because, you know, people who played Saints Row 1 and 2, and then kind of where Saints Row the Third kind of went a bit too, was a bit too far, and then Saints Row 4 was just ridiculous, and then Agents of Mayhem was just what, and then they've just come back to this. It was a bit like, well, you said reboot, so we expected, a more down-to-earth, kind of grounded thing, but you've already kind of turned up the craziness to Saints Row the Third kind of level. And the point was that the developers, I saw so many articles that were saying that the developers, were saying we know what kind of game we're making. The game's going to be great. The gameplay is going to be good. The customization's amazing, and everything like that. And it was just like, no. We want what a Saints Row reboot we thought was going to happen was, hey, try and start it from the beginning again. Maybe get a few more games out of it before you do Matrix, Space, Moon, Mars, etc. kind of thing. That was my main point. Some people understood it. Some people understood it, some people didn't, and I just wanted to make that clear. Second of all, I do want to point out, no, I have not played Saints Row 4, and I have not played Agents of Mayhem. I have played Saints Row Get Out of Hell, which has got the same kind of mechanics, somewhat similar superpowers to Saints Row 4, but no, I have not played Saints Row 4, and I have not played Agents of Mayhem. Me saying that the Saints Row reboot with Agents of Mayhem 2 was very sort of in the moment kind of thing. But it did kind of seem, it's basically Saints Row the Third 2.0. It's more that than Agents of Mayhem 2. Can I get... I wonder if I can... I'm not prepared for this. Wow, I'm not prepared to make this video? No. I just wanted to do this, I was just making sure. Let me just get the comments up quickly. Here we go. Right. Also, I want to point out as well, I hadn't watched any, I still haven't, I will be honest, I have not watched any more trailers, gameplay, or anything like that of the Saints Row reboot apart from the reveal trailer. Mainly because I saw that and I was like, this isn't the Saints Row I wanted, I don't care about it. So, I will do that, so you can... If there's anything you can, criticize me on and immediately call me stupid for, yeah, you can do that. But I'm being honest, but I just didn't care. Um, someone did, uh, yeah, so someone did put a comment and did some backstory on the characters and sort of more of the story setting that I assume came from kind of more articles and sort of stuff like that, and sort of, I guess, the website and everything. Um, so the new Saints are derived from the three gangs that are in the game, I assume. Um, the boss comes from one, Nina comes from one of the other ones, Kevin comes from another one, and they make their own gang because they were tired of taking orders and want to make their own criminal empire. Um, and I'm like, cool, like that, I thanked the person in the comments, and I was like, thank you. Like that helps a bit more, because what I said in the video was that it's kind of like, why are there just sort of random hipster millennial university students, you know, like coming out and just sort of being like, hey, let's do some drug deals, some gun running, that kind of thing. But so it makes sense if they were in the other gangs or in another gang sort of thing and they wanted to do their own thing. Like, that makes a bit more sense. um, uh, uh, Someone also said that some of the OG Saints fans that I've watched said the wingsuit is a cool ass feature. Like, don't get me wrong. That, like, sort of saying, so like I think I said something like the article that I looked at was sort of the classic, classic awesome Saints Row stuff like wingsuits, and I was like, wingsuit in Saint what? No, that's not a thing. But yeah, like it can be a cool thing. Again, I want to again point this out. I will point this out many times, right? So you can fucking feel free to take those bits that I say this out of context, right? I was more saying the previous video was more about the fact that the initial gameplay, sorry, not the initial gameplay, the initial reveal trailer was not what a lot of people were expecting when they said a Saints Row reboot. I'm trying to think about, like, the only other example I can think of is the Tomb Raider reboot, or the Tomb Raider, was it 2010? Is that when? I think so. And that one, and it still had a kind of vibe of Tomb Raider, but Tomb Raider hadn't gone really wacky, and from what I know, the current, the Tomb Raider reboot trilogy isn't actually like insane. Is actually really good. It's not over the top or anything or ridiculous. But anyway, someone said they just called it Saints Row, so it'll sell well. And yeah, I will be. Oh wait, there's an exact thing here. Sorry, I just yeah, someone said they called it Saints Row, so it'll sell well. Yeah, Saints Row does have that name brand recognition. It's the same thing with Black Ops. That's why, we've had, there's Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, and then it was like, here's Black Ops 4, and it's like, well, what part is this playing Black Ops? It's just related to Black Ops 3, and that's it. There's like some references to, like sort of Black Ops things with Woods, Mason, Hudson, that kind of thing. And then what was after Black Ops 4? Black Ops Cold War, where they basically was like, we've got some things about Black Ops, but here's a completely new cast of, it's brand recognition. It's the same thing with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 and now Modern Warfare 2 2022. It's a mouthful. It's name recognition, and whether it's good or not is it's debatable. But yes, again, the developers won't ever say if that was the reason why they called it Saints Row. Why they used the Saints Row name or anything like that. But yeah, we can add that as a conspiracy theory. Someone else did comment about me sort of saying that the sort of, like, instead of it being grounded, the Saints Row reboot being grounded, it's already kind of over the top kind of thing. And they mention, as if Saints Row games didn't have the over the top action stuff already, might I remind you of literally having tank battles mid-air, zombie outbreaks, and a psychopath cat mascot mass murderer, people with flamethrowers on the side of his car in Saints Row 3, along with God knows how many rocket launcher segments. Yes, but my point wasn't Saints Row the third. My point was Saints Row 1 and 2, is those were the people who I would have put myself in that kind of category, and I'm saying words for people who can easily say their own thing, so I'm saying it from my perspective. Sorry for the cough. Yeah, I'm a fan of Saints Row 1 and 2, so sort of when I saw Saints Row Reboot and it was already over the top, I was a bit like, that's not a reboot kind of thing. But yeah, Saints Row the Third is when it started to get a bit wacky. Now, I need to go on a quick tangent before I read more comments, or address more comments. Saints Row, a lot of games, right? The wackiness, or the fun moments, or the ridiculousness comes from what you do outside of what the game tells you to do. You get what I mean? If you go and play Saints Row 1, Saints Row 2, GTA Vice City, San Andreas, GTA 3, GTA 4, how even sort of the WWE games, a lot of the WWE games, a lot of the ridiculous and fun, over-the-top moments, and kind of the ridiculous moments, all happen, most of the time, outside of the main story, or what the game expects you to do. Like, yes, okay, there are some times where you get infinite rocket launchers in, certain missions in sort of early Saints Row, and it's a bit like, why do you have infinite rocket launchers? And it's for more gameplay than anything. But there is that one mission near the end of the Vice Kings where it makes sense to have infinite rocket launcher, because literally in the cutscene beforehand, Johnny Gat shows up with a crate of rocket launchers. Or crate of rocket launcher rockets? Rockets, that's So, yeah. And then, for example, in the WWE and sort of wrestling games, the game goes, hey, here's a tables, ladders, and chairs match, right? Then what you do in the match is you go, well, I'm going to set up 2 tables, I'm going to set up a ladder, right? I'm going to put someone on the table, and then I'm going to jump off the ladder, and someone's going to jump off the turnbuckle, and we're both going to collide and destroy the tables in just a mass of bodies. That's the hilarious thing, because the game gives you the option to do that, but doesn't tell you to do that. It goes, no, a TLC match is you use weapons and you a lot of the time, climb up the ladder and grab whatever's, suspended above the ring. And GTA, GTA 4 has got one of the most famous Grand Theft Auto glitches known to man, the swing set glitch. For people saying how realistic and sort of boring and slow and, kind of all the driving and all the kind of, movement and everything like is in GTA 4, but then you get to the swing set glitch, and you're launching cars, launching yourself across the map. And it's like, that's the fun bit, but the game doesn't tell you to go to this park and swing set glitch yourself at any point. Whereas that's a problem with Saints Row Third. Is, in missions, it's like, hey, get in this helicopter, defend, kind of thing. And even with the cat mascot Genki, Professor Genki in Saints Row the Third, yeah, it then is just like the game's telling you to do this wacky stuff. There's tank assault, heli assault. The escort where they change it from actual sort of escorts to there's a tiger that you got to drive, and like that was my problem with kind of the ridiculousness, and it's why I mentioned Just Cause 3 is because the game wants you to ride a missile and disable it or whatever, or wingsuit into somewhere, and it's a bit like, okay, it's fun, but then when you do that stuff outside of the missions, it's a bit like, well, it's not as fun because I've been doing it for the missions. But yeah, that was my point for that. So Saints Row the Third is where it started to go off the kind of more wackiness kind of scale, and that's kind of the bit where I go, nah, Saints Row 1 and 2 I prefer. Oh god, what happened to the comments? Yes, that. Someone put a comment of, it's bad though. Thank you. But I replied to that, and I was like, and until we get the full release, can't say I've certain. Yes, like I mentioned, saying reboot and then not giving sort of classic Saints Row like 1 and 2 feel not great marketing, but it is it won't be a bad game in in a lot of sense. Then someone replied to that and said, "Did you play it?" I don't know how big of a content creator you think I am. I can't just very easily go up to developers and be like, hey, fly me over, send me an early copy or, an alpha version, pre-alpha, whatever, so I can play it and, tell people on YouTube. No. that's not the thing. But then I did mention about me playing Saints Row. I've played Saints Row 1, 2, the third, Get Out of Hell. Haven't played Saints Row 4 and haven't played Agents of Mayhem. Someone else said, in my opinion, they should leave Saints Row in the past. They can't use a Saints Row name as their security blanket. Agents of Mayhem was not a Saints Row game, but they put a lot of Saints Row references in it. I think the Nina character is the most interesting, but does not seem Saints Row. They should start something new with her as the playable character. Now, I can't remember which one Nina is. From the reveal trailer, like I said, I haven't watched any other kind of gameplay. Yeah, and sort of saying that Agents of Mayhem, I did see something came up as recommended for a video about Agents of Mayhem. I've been watching some other Saints Row videos. Saints Row speedruns recently. But yeah, something came up about Agents of Mayhem having Saints Row references and sort of Saints Row characters that are Agents of Mayhem characters. And I'm like, oh, did they really try and do that? And I was like, oh no. And there's also, like, Agents of Mayhem, like, DLC and sort of extra editions and stuff like that. All have, like, Johnny Gat style character sort of models or whatever, and I'm just like, yeah, they wanted to do something else that wasn't Saints Row, but included Saints Row, and yeah. Someone said, we haven't seen the Saints. Everything we've seen is pre-Saints origin story stuff. What? I haven't seen... Well, no, I'm pretty sure the reveal trailer did show sort of like the boss and the lieutenants sort of, sort of kind of regular Saints Row kind of hierarchy. So I don't know what that means specifically. Um, and someone said they betrayed the old fans and they think they can get away with this shit. Uh, well, again, I mentioned in the previous video that this might be a like I don't know how many developers are still working for Volition that worked on Saints Row 1, Saints Row 2, Saints Row 3rd, Saints Row 4, Agents of Mayhem, that kind of thing. Because there's always going to be, developers leaving, joining, etc. And especially since 2005, 2006, it's been, what, 16 years? 16 years since the first one. I don't know if any developers would still be there who worked on the first Saints Row. But, again, I don't know. So, it's a new set of developers. Now, yeah. Yeah, so I will say, them calling it Saints Row Reboot, them calling it Saints Row is purely for brand recognition. So they can get people to buy the game. But yeah, in terms of again, it's hard to say that it's going to be a bad game. I mentioned it so many times before in the other video that as long as there isn't a Cyberpunk 2077 situation where the game is just completely littered with glitches and just broken a lot of the time, because it's such a big open world, if that doesn't happen, then the game is going to be fine. The game is going to be playable. It's going to be good. It's going to be sort of classic, it's going to be more Saints Row the Third, as I said, Saints Row the Third 2.0. Which again, like I said, I was watching some Saints Row speedruns, watching Saints Row the Third, and sort of just like, obviously it's a speedrun, so you're not seeing the cutscenes, but just sort of seeing like the interaction, sort of like the call, sort of like talking to other characters, the boss talking to whoever, and it's a bit like, they try and break the fourth wall, but it's just like if you're trying to go for that again, it's just disappointing. But yeah, I don't think there's anything more I can say or anything else I need to say that I need to reiterate what I said in the first video. Yeah, again, if any of the Volition developers somehow see this, yeah, the backlash came from you saying it's a Saints Row reboot and then giving us more Saints Row the Third style game rather than going back to Saints Row 1 or 2, which is not the most popular in the Saints Row series. I would say Saints Row the Third is probably the most popular because they remastered Saints Row the Third but didn't touch Saints Row 1 or 2 at all, or since, or even thought about it. But people who have played Saints Row 1 and 2 and have played all the Saints Row series say, Saints Row 1, 2, the better, more solid games. Rather than it just being a wacky, hey, let's create the most disgusting character and do funny things and not actually play the game. Because if you play the game, then there's restrictions on you doing ridiculous things, but the game's still wanting you to do ridiculous things. It's... yeah. All in all, Saints Row the Reboot got bad marketing because they're calling it Saints Row the Reboot, or Saints Row Reboot, but really just being Saints Row the Third style and not Saints Row 1 and 2. I is there anything else I need? Again, I keep saying this, and it just got bad marketing, and if you're excited for the game, if you're hyped for the game, full on go for it. I am not here to shit on your parade. Like I said, the game's going to be good. It's if it's anything like Saints Row the Third, then yeah, the customization is going to be insane. I mean, I even mentioned that there was, well, I hope I mentioned. If I didn't mention, there was mention about the customization in Saints Row always being insane. In Saints Row the Third and Saints Row 4, for Saints Row the Third and Saints Row 4, there were quote unquote demos for the game, or free trials as they called it sort of previously on Xbox Marketplace. One for Saints Row 3 called the Initiation Station, and one for Saints Row 4 that was the Inauguration Station. Both of them the same thing. Basically, you could customize your character before the game released, save that character, and I think maybe upload it to sort of the Saints Row website, and then when the game released, downloaded that character. So then you didn't have to spend, you spent hours before the game release creating your character. So then you can just use that character immediately when you load up the game. Or, if you wanted to create it sort of pixel perfect and everything like that. So to say that, to have to say that the customization is going to be insane, well, of course it is. If it's anything like Saints Row the Third, Saints Row 4, probably even Agents of Mayhem, of course the customization is going to be insane. Of course it is. What, you think we don't think that? Like, just shush. I realise this is actually, I hope this isn't half an hour long at the beginning. It's half an hour long. Oops. My bad. But, yeah. Just need to go over a couple of things. Saints Row Reboot got bad marketing. No, I didn't play Agents of Mayhem. No, I haven't played Saints Row 4. I do have Saints Row 4. I bought Saints Row 4 because I like to make mistakes in life. And playing all Saints Row 1, 2, 3, 4 for playthroughs for YouTube, I like to do that on the Xbox 360. So that was my mistake. And, yeah. But yeah, that's all I can say. If there's anything else more I've missed, I will be putting it in comments, or you can mention it and then I'll reply in the comments. But yeah, this is the last thing I'm going to do on Saints Row Reboot until either the game releases or I play the game or anything like that. So, thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you in the next video. So, peace out.